Today, we're cracking open a creative treasure chest that, believe it or not, belongs to every single one of us. Inside, you'll find this incredible library of ideas, images, and sounds that anyone can use for pretty much any reason, and totally for free. This is the public domain. It's the very building block of creativity.
And hey, that's not just some nice-sounding sentiment. It's a fundamental truth about how creativity really works. Just think of it like a shared wellspring of human imagination. Every new song, every new story, every new movie, they all draw from this amazing collective resource.
So here's a fun one for you. What do a brilliant detective, a tragic monster, and just breathtaking photos from outer space all have in common? The answer is fascinating and connects all of them to some of the biggest creative works of our time.
And the answer is, they all belong to the public domain. You see, this is the ultimate destination for every copyrighted work. It's designed to eventually enrich all of our lives and spark brand new art. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means these works are owned by you, by me, by the public. We can copy them, adapt them, perform them, and share them without ever having to ask for permission or pay a single licensing fee. It is the ultimate green light for creativity.
And this is where it gets really exciting. The only limit on how you can use public domain material is your own imagination. So let's take a look at how this freedom has led to some truly incredible and sometimes pretty surprising new creations.
Okay, so check this out. You take a beloved classic like Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. It's in the public domain. An editor has this wild idea for a mashup, and a writer comes in and adds zombies to about 85% of the original text. And the result? A massive bestseller that spawned a movie, video games, and pretty much a whole new genre. Or how about blockbuster movies? Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale, The Snow Queen, has been in the public domain for generations. Well, it served as the foundational story for one of the highest-grossing animated films of all time. You guessed it, Disney's Frozen. That core story was a free building block for a new cultural phenomenon.
And it's not just about stories. The works of Renaissance masters like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo are also in the public domain. And this has allowed publishers to get really creative, tapping into a whole new market with products like adult coloring books, featuring outlines of these timeless masterpieces.
But you know, this isn't just about artistic freedom, it's also about economics. By using public domain material, whether it's novels, old-school archival footage, or classical music, creators can save millions of dollars in permission fees and licensing costs. This just opens the door for independent artists and big studios alike. It really levels the playing field for creativity.
Now this all sounds great, right? But how does a work actually go from being privately owned to becoming part of this shared Creative Commons? Well, it turns out there are a few distinct paths a work can take to enter the public domain.
There are really 4 primary ways. The most common is just good old-fashioned expiration. But some works are never even eligible for copyright in the first place. Others lost their protection because of old rules, and some creators now actually choose to dedicate their work directly to the public. Let's break these down. Okay, so the main pathway is copyright expiration. In the United States, the rule is pretty straightforward these days. A work enters the public domain 95 years after it was published. A really simple shortcut for creators is that anything published before 1925 is reliably in the public domain. And as of 2025, we're welcoming works from 1929 into the Commons.
Next up are works that are ineligible for copyright right from the very start. See, copyright law doesn't protect raw facts or ideas, only how they're expressed. Same goes for names, titles, and short phrases. And, crucially, any work created by an employee of the U.S. federal government as part of their job is automatically in the public domain. That includes a literal treasure trove of photos, documents, and speeches.
Then there's this interesting historical pathway. Under the old laws, works published before 1964 needed to have their copyright renewed after 28 years. If the owner forgot or just didn't file the paperwork, that work fell into the public domain. It's estimated that thousands of films and books became public property this way, just because nobody renewed them in time. And finally, we have the modern, proactive approach. Today, creators can actually choose to give up their copyright entirely and dedicate their work to the public domain from day one. They often use a tool called the Creative Commons CC0 license. This is a legal instrument that basically says to the whole world, this is yours. Use it however you want, no restrictions.
But, you know, it's not always a simple treasure hunt. Using the public domain can be incredibly powerful, but there are some modern challenges and some fine print you really need to be aware of. So, here's the catch.
It's really easy to think that if something is in the public domain, it's just a complete creative free-for-all with zero restrictions. But in practice, the path can be a little more complicated, especially now in the digital age.
Okay, this is probably the most important distinction to understand. While the creative work itself, the story, the painting, the music, is totally free for you to use, the physical or digital copy of that work might not be. A museum that owns the Mona Lisa can't stop you from using images of it, but they can restrict you from taking photos inside their building, and they can charge you for a high-resolution digital copy that they created. And this isn't just a theoretical problem. A guy named Eric Eldred created a website to share digital copies of public domain books. A museum's publishing department, which sold its own versions, actually claimed he was stealing their income by offering the free material. And even though he was certain the work was in the public domain, he ended up taking it down just to avoid a costly legal fight.
And there are other pitfalls too. You'll see companies trying to place copyright claims on their digital scans of public domain works, and you'll definitely see stock photo agencies trying to license their photos of public domain art. You just have to be diligent and really know the difference between the original work and the copy you're accessing.
So, with those cautions in mind, where can you go? How can you get to this material from sources you can actually trust? Well, luckily, many incredible institutions have made it their mission to be the public's gateway to the shared treasure trove. These organizations are absolutely fantastic starting points. Project Gutenberg has tens of thousands of free ebooks. The Internet Archive has millions of books, films, and audio recordings. The Library of Congress and the National Archives have these vast digital collections of U.S. history. These are all reliable, mission-driven projects, and they're dedicated to making our shared culture accessible to everyone.
Ultimately, the public domain isn't just a legal status, it's an invitation. It's the collected works of generations of humanity, handed down to all of us as a starting point. It's a wellspring of inspiration that is free for the taking. So the only question left is, what will you create with it?